let's do this. Let's address the elephant in the room at the end of the day. Let's address the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room really is this fight brings us no closer to a Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford fight. It really doesn't. It doesn't bring us any closer to that fight. It doesn't bring us any closer to Undisputed. It doesn't. It really, honestly, and truly doesn't, man. And it's sad. I mean, this is great for Errol Spence's career. Again, it builds he gets a chance to build his star power. He gets a chance to make more money. He gets a chance to really do some big things in the sport. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the fight that we all want in the welterweight division, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, as far as that fight that all of us as boxing fans want, this brings us no closer to that fight. And that right there in itself is sad. That right there in itself is sad. We all want that Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford fight. But Errol Spence goes into this Manny Pacquiao fight, and if he's able to beat Manny Pacquiao, his overly inflated ego becomes even more overly inflated. His unbearable nature in the negotiation table becomes even more unbearable. The Errol Spence that couldn't get the deal done with Terence Crawford becomes the Errol Spence that couldn't get the deal done with Terence Crawford times 10 after a win with a Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? The fight just simply doesn't happen as a result. And a lot of people after this fight are going to be saying that Terence should take the lower split, Terence should do this, Terence should do that, you know what I'm saying? Because Errol fought Manny Pacquiao, Errol beat Manny Pacquiao, and possibly obtain 3 of the 4 belts. And he may actually do that, man. He may actually attain 3 of the 4 belts, He may actually do that, and that would be a big win for Errol Spence. But at the end of the day, again, it doesn't bring us any closer to the fight. Because if you're Terence Crawford, you don't give a damn about none of that because you hold that WBA, and all you really got to do is stay black and die at the end of the day. So, I think that in itself, like this fight, I think brings us all to the realization that fight really will probably never happen. And I think that in itself is real sad, man, We all want that fight to happen, man, and it ain't happening. Terence understands that Undisputed ain't undisputed until you got that WBO, so it's either you gonna come to the negotiations correct or you don't come at all. And that's gonna be his attitude, and honestly, I support that. Terence Crawford ain't obligated under no circumstances to take anything less than what he believes he's worth. You know what I'm saying? And Errol Spence is going to believe he's worth more than what he actually is. Much more than he already believes he's worth more than he actually is before Manny Pacquiao fight. So imagine after a Manny Pacquiao fight. Imagine what he believes his worth is after a Manny Pacquiao fight. And it's like, if you're Terence Crawford, you don't really give a fuck about that. You're undefeated in 3 different weight divisions. You got the WBO champion at 147. Errol can't be undisputed. Errol's either going to have to come correct or move up or move down or do something. So, I think that's the sad part about this. You know what I'm saying? The Jimba says, Crawford recently said that the fight with Errol Spence is behind him and won't happen. I believe both fighters have let the opportunity leave. Absolutely. Terence said he's done with the Errol Spence fight, But honestly, even though he's saying he's done with the fight, man, if Errol came to the negotiation table correct, he would entertain the idea of a fight. I doubt that he would seriously turn it down. But Errol got to come to the negotiate. Errol can make the fight happen if he came to the table to try to negotiate. You know what I'm saying? Like a grown ass man instead of all this petty kid shit. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, what I'm saying is after Errol Spence If he gets this win over Manny Pacquiao, and that's a if he gets this win over Manny Pacquiao, I mean, Earl already has a high self-worth. He already believes he's worth X amount. You know what I'm saying? He already believes he's a big fish. He already believes he's this and that he deserves an 80-20 split over Terence Crawford. If he believes that at this point, where does his self-worth go after a Manny Pacquiao fight? And how does that help us get towards Undisputed? It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't get us nowhere near Undisputed. It actually pushes Undisputed even further away from where it already was. You know, only way Earl gets Undisputed is if Terence Crawford moves up to 154 pounds. You know, if Terence Crawford moved up to 154 and you know, dropped the belt, vacated the belt, went after Jermell, you know what I'm saying, did some shit like that, you know. And to me, if I'm Terence Crawford, I'm not considering that Jermell Charlo is a PBC fighter, and we know how they like to play over at PBC. Not even just they, because a lot of people like to narrow it down to PBC. At the end of the day, all these dudes out here are dirty as fuck. They all look to try to play chess. They all do underhanded, sneaky snake shit. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. But considering how the game is being played by both sides, I'll put it like that. Considering how the game is being played on both sides, if I'm Terence Crawford, I'm not vacating my belt unless I'm assured that I get a shot at the champion, which is Jermell Charlo, within the next 2 fights. I signed maybe a 2, possibly 3 fight deal with PBC that has Jermell Charlo's name on it, and that's it. That's the only way I sign a PBC. That's the only way I move up in weight, because honestly, these dudes can play, and you know, here's the thing about these mandatories and stuff like that. Dudes like Jermell Charlo and stuff like that, and these dudes can play keep away for years. These dudes can go years without having to fight mandatories. These dudes can put mandatories off for God knows how goddamn long. I would hope that it wouldn't take all that for Jermell Charlo to try to make a fight with Terence Crawford, a naturally smaller dude. But if I'm Terence Crawford, I'm not going up in weight. I'm not campaigning at that weight unless I'm assured a big fight at that weight division. I'm assured a chance to get an opportunity at one of those belts. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that unless I have that as an opportunity and it's guaranteed. And I can go after somebody in court if it's not honored. I'm not doing nothing like that. So like, you know, if I'm not doing it, if I can't leverage that into a play, I'm staying at 147 pounds. I'm looking for the biggest fights I can find at 147 pounds, and I'm retaining my WBO belt until it's time to retire. You know what I'm saying? Or until I see an opportunity to go after a big fight in another weight division at 154, or maybe even move up 2 weight divisions to 160 to try to do something real big towards the end of my career. But that's how I'm playing it at the end of the day. And then Errol Spence, he could, you know, he can continue to do what he do on his quote unquote side of the street. You know, he can continue after this Manny Pacquiao fight. There's really nobody else for him to really fight. He could fight your Dennis Ugas. Maybe he could fight Keith Thurman. That would be a big fight. He got maybe 2 fights. He got maybe 1 big fight over there. You Dennis Ugas, and then who does he really have left? You know what I'm saying? He can continue to do his thing, and Terence can continue to do his thing. You know what I'm saying? But my point is, Earl's never going to be undisputed without a Terence Crawford, and vice versa. They need each other, support each other's careers. And if Earl's not willing to come to the negotiation, if Earl's not willing to come to the negotiation table in a respectful manner and try to get the fight done, then the shit's just not going to happen. And if I'm Terence Crawford, I'm saying, fuck you, Earl. Go on to your side of the street, take your bitch ass over there, and I'm gonna do my thing. Fuck all that. The Djembe says Crawford's next fight will be more than likely the winner of tonight's fight. Yeah, you know, that's part of him doing his thing. You know, Terence on his side, man, Terence is like, I can already see where his mindset is with this whole thing. Terence is like, well, look, man, you know, fuck it. I done tried to make these fights with these PBC dudes. None of these, it's hard as fuck trying to make fights with these dudes, because these dudes, they want 10 trillion gajillion dollars for a fight. You know what I'm saying? You know, they playing fucking games. They want to fight, then they don't want to fight. They making up all these little pussy excuses. They doing this, they doing that. Fuck all that, man. I'm gonna fight who I can fight, okay, and I'm gonna call it a day. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's a real, you know, fighting an undisputed champion, you know, whether it be Josh Taylor or Jose Ramirez, that would mean big things for Terence Crawford's career. You know, that would mean really big things for Terence Crawford's career, and that's what he's gonna do. It makes all the sense in the world for him to do that. You know? So I mean, you know, that's where I'm at with it, you know. That's where I'm at with it. That's where I'm at with it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm Terence Crawford, either come correct or don't come at all. Period.